What's up, guys? I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about how the Oklahoma City Thunder have been rebuilding without actually tanking like the Philadelphia 76ers or something like that, and they've really still been competitive in a lot of these games and showed integrity and just competitiveness in these games, and they're going to have a really good supporting cast with the stars of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and whoever they get in this next draft, and we'll have a really good team coming in the future because they're not just tanking and they're actually building competitiveness in these players. So I'm going to talk about that in this video. If you like this type of content, like and subscribe on the video if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. Also, before we get into the video, I've been posting a lot on my Instagram, my basketball Instagram. It's at hardwood.vibes, just like my YouTube channel. I've been posting 1 to 2 times a day, just short little clips and videos and highlights, also graphics on high school basketball, college basketball, and obviously the NBA. So if you want more content from me on a daily basis, because I post daily over there, go follow in the link in the description. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Last year, the Oklahoma City Thunder lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Houston Rockets and James Harden with Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the crew, you know what I'm saying? And after Dennis Schroeder and Chris Paul and Steven Adams left, a lot of people just expected the Thunder to tank and be the worst team in the league by far. And also with the passing of Billy Donovan, him going to the Bulls now, with this new coach, they thought there would be a lot of growing pains, which they have been, but they've also been competitive. And instead of being the worst team in the league, they're not even close to being the worst team in the league, and they're 6-6 right now, being competitive. Now, it might die off a little bit, and they might become worse later in the season, but I just like that they're just not laying down and just letting these teams beat them, you know. They're 6-6, right at 500, but they're still out of the playoffs, and I'm still expecting them to have a high lottery pick, but I just like that they're just not laying down and let any team beat them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the first player I wanted to talk about in this video, and because I feel like he can be a really good second option on a championship team, second or third option on a championship team, because he's a great scorer, a decent defender, and also a pretty good facilitator for being a shooting guard, because he's not a point guard anymore. And I feel like if the Thunder do have a high draft pick, I don't think they'll get the #1 pick because of how good they've been playing, and they won't get Cade Cunningham. But I like how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander plays. He's a decent three-point shooter, a good scorer, a good facilitator. He does a lot of things well, but I don't think he does anything great, and that's the type of player he is. The winning team, I feel like he is not a #1 option, but he can be a number 2 or 3. Next player I want to talk about, and probably their second big piece for the future, is Lu Dort. Lu Dort, it looks like he's going to be the next best 3-and-D player, just that glue guy on the court for them, because he's a great defender, and he showed that last year against James Harden, limiting him and making it a little bit harder for him in the first round, but he still played decent because he's James Harden. But he's a really good defender, but last year the knock on him is he was just another Andre Roberson and really couldn't shoot, but this year he's come in and he's been shooting 43% from 3, which shows that he's been working really hard on his shot, and he didn't want to be a liability for the Thunder on offense, and people are going to have to start stepping up and respecting him, which will give more lanes for Shai, and other players with the ball in their hands. So I really like that he took it upon himself to be a way better three-point shooter this year, and that's what makes him a 3-and-D guy and now a glue guy for the future with the Oklahoma City Thunder. If he didn't, he'd probably just be another bench player or something like that, because you need to be able to shoot, especially if you don't have a whole bunch of insane shooters around you like Steph or Clay, because Draymond was at least respected a little bit, not even respected, but he could knock it down a little bit. Lu Dort last year, besides that last game when he dropped 30 in Game 7, he was really like wide open. Like nobody was even close to him. Nobody was respecting him at all. And now the team, he has the team's respect, which will open lanes, like I said earlier, open lanes for his teammates, and I really respect him for taking that on. And now he's a part of the future. He won't be like a #1 or #2 option, but he can definitely be like a number 4 or 5 option and the best defender on a playoff team. So I really like that for Lu Dort. Now I just want to talk about their standing position and what they'll be looking for in the NBA draft. Right now, they're the 10th seed, 6-6 in the Western Conference. I expect some teams under them in the Western Conference to get better, like the Rockets, the Kings, the Pelicans, and the Memphis Grizzlies, as John Morant's coming back. I expect those 4 teams to get better, and the Thunder to kind of slide off a little bit, because Dort's shooting insane from the three-point line right now, and Shai's playing very well, and also Diallo and Medellin and Hill are also playing good off the bench. and Baisley's having his little spot. So I feel like there'll be a little bit of slumps for these young players, and they may slide out a little bit. I'm not hoping for it because I like this team, but for the future, I feel like they probably want to slide down a little bit, get a couple more losses, but still be competitive in these games. And in the Eastern Conference, I feel like the Raptors and the Heat will obviously get better, and the Heat will most likely be a playoff team. And I don't know about the Raptors now because they have been very bad these last couple, this entire season actually. They've been very bad, so I don't know if they'll be a playoff team, but I'm pretty sure they'll get a little bit better. Now on who they draft, I feel like they draft best available. I feel like they'll be in the fifth pick or sixth pick range, so they'll be there for Suggs or Kumingas, depending on where he goes. Green, depending how the draft works out. Those type of players, but I feel like they won't be getting Cunningham. I know that's what a lot of Thunder fans want, but their team is just a little too competitive to get Cunningham, and there's a lot of bad teams in the league right now, like Timberwolves and the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? Those are two of the worst teams in the league, and I think Cunningham will probably be going to one of those teams because Cunningham is just way too good to even think about fit like last year with the Timberwolves picking Anthony Edwards over LaMelo Ball because of fit. This year, Kate Cunningham is a generational talent, and you can't be worrying about fit with that. So I feel like Cunningham will go off the board number one easily. Depending on who is worse than the Thunder, they'll probably be landing Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, depending on how good Cooper begins to be. He's a really good small guard. Kind of reminds me, not shooting wise, but everything else kind of reminds me of Trae Young, being able to draw contact and is a really good passer. So those are the type of players I think they'll be in the running to get. All right, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this type of content, like, subscribe to the video if you haven't already. And also, like I said earlier, I'll be posting daily on my Instagram, harwood.vibes, link in the description down below, you know what I'm saying? So go follow that and subscribe to the video, subscribe and like the video, you know what I'm saying? I'll see you guys next time.